There we go. Welcome to the Stream of Chaos. Our sound is now working correctly, and we are here. Thanks, everybody, for that moment of patience. My name is James, and I am going to be the Game Master for our final episode of Age of Vikings, which we are playing now. We have a very mean Viking warlord character that we need to take care of, and we have this fantastic cast of folks who are going to be joining us. Let's get them to introduce themselves, starting off with Art, please.
Hi, I'm Art, and the Viking that I am puppeteering for this specific little fun times is a round fat man by the name of Sigmundur. Oh my goodness, Gunnarsson, I think is I have forgotten my own character's name. Yeah, I did it right, Sigmundur Gunnarsson. Who is a skald or a bard, I guess is the other word, the more, English word. Just, very charismatic, very friendly, very, very interested in just telling stories, not particularly interested in getting hit with sticks, which seems to be the position that he finds himself in potentia of becoming, and is not necessarily keen on that. But luckily has friends who are good at both hitting and being hit, or avoiding being hit, and also maybe can make magic sticks? I don't know.
Avoiding getting hit is always a pretty good principle, and yeah, you can rely on your friends. But speaking of not magic sticks, because that's the third person in the list, but close enough to, Jackson.
Hitting good.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Jarl Thorolfsson, who is an adept wizard at casting the spell Hit with sword and slice. He's not a wizard. He collects weapons, and he's big, and he's here because he's got a new sword, and his sword, he'd like to swing the sword. He'd like to hit some things with the sword and get more swords in future, and that's where he's been at. He's got a new sword. He's got an enormous black obsidian blade, which I named in the last few minutes of the last session, and I can't remember, which is very frustrating if you're binging the series, because you just heard me say it like 10 minutes ago, and I've already forgotten what it was. Arm Taker? Arm Claimer? Arm Claimer.
Arm Claimer?
I got Arm Claimer, because I won it. Well, I didn't win it, but, it was in a duel.
Arm Winner? Arm Wrecker?
No, I feel it was something like Arm Claimer, because we were talking about the way that, words morph over time.
Yeah, Arm Claimer, I think, was yeah.
And so that's all he got. That's all he wanted to get out of the AlÞing. And now there's this thing with Ari that he hasn't been paying a lot of attention to. But if it's a chance to show up somewhere and show off his sword, he's in.
Hi, I'm Alex. I am playing Thrymir Solusson, the Beanpole Man, face and neck covered in scars, real creepy dude about town. New clothes, though. I've got new clothes. That's a distinctive characteristic. Presumably because I set all my old ones on fire. These burns didn't come out of nowhere. I probably did them to myself.
Well, new clothes are good enough reason to set yourself on fire. Whenever I need to shop, I do the same thing. Let's move right in and get started, because we left off at a pretty big cliffhanger. Basically, situation is as follows. The three of you have traveled out from the AlÞing, the gathering of all of these different Viking people and the council that will be deciding a bunch of court cases that are happening for the region. And you have traveled in the dead of night out to a meeting point just on the outskirts of the general area, past all of the torchlight, past where anybody can get to you particularly easily. You're still able to return, but it would take you about an hour to get back. While you're here, you've flashed a couple of signal lights, and you are trying to appeal out to Ari to come and meet you. This is the local warlord that you need to take care of before his murder case basically results either way in a bunch of chaos as people unhappy with the verdict try to rally everybody to support them. The meeting's gone ahead. We have Thimur hiding in the trees nearby.
Well,
They're pretty
I think we
sure
established
that-
it. I kind of screwed the pooch on that one, and I'm not exactly hiding so much as standing ominously at a distance in full view. However, I do have my bow on my back ready to go, but that is, I am very good at the bow, surprisingly. Um, however, that I've also prepared some other things that the bow is a red herring. But I'm standing ominously in full view, just at a distance.
Yeah, your hiding is not super successful. We have Njal, special sword in hand, standing to be the chief combatant here, and we have Mundi standing by, ready to be the chief talker. Alongside you,
I do also have a quarterstaff, which I'm ostensibly not bad with. Like, I can boop someone on the I really like to think that in this moment I'm just channeling Rafiki from The Lion King, just being like, you do something stupid, I boop you on the head. Stop that. Listen to me. Stop being stupid.
perfect. Of course, it's one of those things though where you get the full consequences. So when that happens, they have a bleeding welt left and a mild concussion. Standing next to you is this representative, the one person who stayed behind from the band of Ari's troops to kind of be a presence inside the AlÞing itself. And we've referred to this guy, I refer to this guy a little vaguely because we didn't establish a name for him. So can I get one of you to just very quickly for me roll a d4, and I'm going to apply a name that I have, one of a collection, prepared, just so that we can stop being vague about who this person is.
Well, I have rolled a 2.
A 2. All right. So Hjalmur, Hjalmur. So Hjalmur, who has got still torch in hand, looks across to the two of you standing nearby. You can see his eyes flicking off to the distance where Thjomur is stood, not too far away. Won't be long now. Give them a moment to get close. The three figures approaching you, Ari and two bodyguards, take a while to crest over the hill and get down to actually reach you. There is a real kind of cold building in the air, despite it being the middle of summer, but that's Iceland for you.
Boy, have I got a solution for you.
Oh, very good. Yeah, nothing to
Might this have something to do with?
Hopefully.
Yeah, I was gonna say, might this have something to do with your new clothes?
I'm sure
Good
this
night.
I'm sure this is all going to go just fine. At any rate, Ari himself is not a particularly intimidating looking guy at first. He's fairly average height, if anything, a little bit below. And amongst all of these huge, big, broad Vikings, he's relatively lean. But as he gets close, he has a meanness to him, a kind of anti-charisma that immediately stands out. You know how people say that you don't know how amazing a performer Marilyn Monroe is until you actually watch a Marilyn Monroe movie? You don't know how much this guy sucks until you actually lay eyes on him. He leeches off negative energy, and his gaze is darting between the two of you. It doesn't flick over towards Thimur either because he has dismissed him, or he just doesn't care. But as he approaches, he stops in front of the two of you and kind of waits just long enough that it's awkward before he starts talking. Mundi's probably the only one who might try and smooth things over and get a first word in. Do you try to open nicely, or do you wait for him to make them? Yeah, okay.
I think I say, hail, Ari the Black. We've come to treat with you before the official trial tomorrow for the simple reason that we think that there is a more amenable solution that can be found in a smaller group of people than in front of the entirety of the AlÞing. And we're hoping to find that with you this evening, if you're amenable to that.
He smiles, the kind of smile that doesn't hit his eyes and just shows teeth, but he, through clenched teeth, goes, "What are you proposing then?" The way I see it...
Go.
The way I see it, you've made my life pretty difficult, and I understand that. You've got objectives you need to fulfill, but to find agreement now, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say.
Me too.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. Y'all. Without mincing words, you've been making quite a bit of bother for the folks of this area. I understand you consider yourself quite the warrior and quite the leader, and perhaps are a little more focused on taking things by force than integrating with the community and working your way to some level of power through agreements and deals and you know, fostering of relations and connections. We live in a society where both those methods are valid and reasonable ways of moving through the world, but one of them creates an awful lot of people who don't like you at the end of the day. And while you are young and spry and capable, and in the eyes of Odin, I hope that continues for a very long time, those people will not bother you. But at some point, we all grow old and frail, and hell starts to come creeping behind our shoulder, waiting for a moment of weakness to cast us down. And in those moments, having people that you have made connections with and forged bonds with is a lot less dangerous than ruling by force. So, I propose a bit of a... We don't speak Latin, but I'm gonna say quid pro quo, or whatever the appropriate Icelandic phrase is for that.
Add a UR suffix and we're golden, yeah.
Yeah, quid pro quoer.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to the people that I know who watch this who are actually from Iceland. But you want to go and fight and make a name for yourself and bring power and glory to your name and your people, and I think there is a way for us to see that that happens for you, while also making sure that the people of our community are safe and whole, and perhaps come around to the idea of seeing you as someone who is going to go and forge new frontiers on behalf of the community. Not only for your own gain, but for them as well. Now, whether or not it ends up being for your own gain or not, truly, I care not. I simply want to make sure that our community and what we have built here remains a secure base for everyone who comes after. Because as I said, at the end of the day, we all grow old and we all move on. And Odin does not care. We may end up in Valhalla for mighty deeds, but we end up somewhere that isn't here either way. And I would argue that going and dealing with a large number of barbarians and heathens is a far more mighty stroke than knocking over peasants and stealing their pocket change.
It's a good pitch. I love this because really, when I was prepping out this portion of the scenario, this is something that can go in any direction. It could end up in a giant brawl right here. It could end up in all kinds of debate. And I think so much of it is going to come down to how this comes across. So with that in mind, as you make an appeal to this pretty stony-faced warlord, I'm going to ask you for an orate check. That seems like the most obvious. This is definitely a time when you're going to want to try and lean on any tricks you have in store.
Yeah, cause like, I'm okay at being charming. Orate is not, weirdly for a storyteller, orate is not one of my strong suits.
I think the idea here is that orate very much has that sort of like convincing, argumentative aspect. You're great at telling a story, getting people on your side. You're great at PR, not necessarily politicking. Not necessarily convincing people, just keeping the vibes really, really good.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, with that in mind, my O rate is not high. My O rate is just base plus my communication, which is only
Okay.
20.
You got some
Alright.
devotion points?
I do
Or-
have some devotion
Got a
points.
god you can speak to on this?
Oh,
Maybe?
hang on, where are my passions? Yeah, Odin, buddy, or pal. Odin, my friend. Odin, god of all gods and god of wisdom.
War, magic, poetry too, but this
Yeah,
definitely.
well, war and wisdom. I'm trying to get this
Yeah.
man's bloodlust
I'm-
somewhere else.
If this doesn't go well, I'll ask about war and magic, but let's go.
Yeah,
let's
let's
go
start with
wisdom
that.
first.
Okay, look, that makes sense. I mean, at this point, you're dealing with something that is so internal to the strife and the structure of what's happening in your community. I think that Odin is entirely appropriate. So, how many devotion points do you have? 2.
Two
So you
left.
could spend 1 point to get plus 20 on this, or you could spend 2 points to get plus 30. So there's a diminishing return. Maybe you want to try and leave a little bit in the tank if this goes wrong. That said, unless you do that, you're not even going to get to a 50% chance.
Yeah, I think I am going to really in this moment be like, I'm putting my eggs in this basket because like at the end of the day, this is the best I got. I got this, and if this doesn't work, Now's got a sword.
Yeah,
That's pretty much where we're at.
Now you're definitely outnumbered in this situation here, right? So there's 4 of them, and there's 3 of you, and they're all at least somewhat capable fighters, with Ari being particularly dangerous. You reckon that the reason that your friend, the now named Hjalmur, got left standing watch and being a representative is possibly because he's not the best at hitting stuff, but they're all at least somewhat capable. It's gonna be tough if you have to take the sword route. But Njal, do you reckon you have any way you might be able to influence this check? I might be persuaded to or rated into adding a boost to the skill or reduction to the difficulty of the roll, if you can think of a way that you want to try and sort of lean in and help out here.
Not very intimidating. What's your pitch? Just like think about the long term. Think about the long term here.
It's the pitch is think about the long term. The undertone of the pitch is you want to go, like, we know that you were planning on a raid, and we want to send you on that raid. We want you to go and find glory and like bring things back to the community. We want you to go and spend your energy beating up heathens and then bring back stuff to the community. And we want to like we want to PR your image. We want to fix your image with the community. We want to help you be the person that you like kind of want to be, which is someone who is in power, someone who has like pull without
Help us
it,
help you.
yeah, without it necessarily needing to be like punch a peasant in the face, take their pocket money. It's punch a heathen in the face, take their pocket money, come back, go look at how great I am, and like maybe give a like tiny amount of that back to the community and kind of like create bonds that will see that your family remains embedded and important in the community, not just you.
All right. Well, here's my pitch.
It's also Valhalla. Go do a thing
this
that'll
is
get
about-
you into like
We'd
the
love
upstairs.
to laud you as the hero that you believe you are, but you've got to actually do something for that. Like,
Please stop
I
being a
hate
dick.
to-
It's hard to be like, and Ari the Black was a famous. I'm gonna write
I'm
a
an
story about you.
asshole.
I'll do a prose thingy. You just gotta give me something to work with.
just a huge dick who everyone hates. It doesn't have the same ringing to it, does it?
It doesn't. The flip side is that he can always go, if you don't tell a story that says I'm good, I will hit you very hard. So, but
Okay.
Yeah, but again,
we're
like at
calling
a
that
certain
love.
point,
Exactly,
a
and-
certain
Still don't get the
point,
story.
you can hit me real hard. You can't hit every scald real hard in the
100%.
entirety of Iceland forever.
100%, and that's a good point. So now,
Plus the angle.
did you have an angle?
Yeah. Look, I hate to bring everything back to my sword,
I think you should.
but Ari hasn't seen my sword yet. I'm looking over my skill list. Like I said last time, I got broadsword 85, shield 90, and basically nothing else above 40. That's.
That is, I mean, that
But
is a
I got to
compelling
bring everything
argument,
back to my
though.
sword.
8590 sword and shield is a compelling argument any way you slice that.
Well, but I want to flex it off in a way to show that, hey, look, if you come to the AlThing and if you help people and if you get involved with the community, it means that like people are connected, stories are connected,
They give you
loot
fancy
is
swords.
connected. You make connections that result in you getting fancy swords sometimes, and that's the benefit of the community. And so I think when Mundi is like talking about this community we have going and the benefits of staying connected, I will gaze lovingly at my sword.
Yeah.
Which has just, made its debut and come out, and I don't have much communication skills, but I'll bring it out, and if anyone asks, I'll say, yeah, this came to me from the court cases that happened at the AlThing, and goodness, if I hadn't come, I might never have known it, and now it's already started a story of its own, started a legend. Claimer.
I like
no big deal, but
I like the pitch, and I think that I'm pretty happy to. There's something I have in mind about the sword. It will definitely factor in here, but I don't think that sort of it's going to. I don't think it's going to materially affect this role.
It's a bit too subtle.
What about if aside, Niall, aside? What if you go on the raid with Ari? You're a strong fighter. He could use good men. We show faith in him by sending one of our own as a way of ensuring that when they come back, assuming you're still alive and well, which I would hope you are, not only do I get to hear not only do we have a tale based on Ari himself, who will return gloriously triumphant, but we have a third party who is not currently connected to Ari and is known to not be connected to Ari, who will come back and verify all of the magnificent things that Ari did, and it lends credence, and also just an extra warrior who's really good.
I'll perk up it from looking at my sword and say, if there's a raid, let's do it together.
Yeah, and I can absolutely speak to the man in charge of this raid to make sure that you are in fact in charge of the...
Calling from the trees.
In charge of the charge.
He's an idiot, but he's my idiot.
Basically, making sure that you're the guy in charge of when and where the fighting happens, that you were the chief fighter on this voyage.
Okay, I like the pitches.
Not a minion.
Let's
just the guy.
I think for each of you, then if you're offering to basically lend your respective weights, we'll give a 10% bonus for each of you. So that's a negative 20 to the difficulty here, which is going to bump your skill from 20 base plus 30 for you spending your 2 devotion points. A huge sort of investment of your
I'm
social
really
capital with the gods.
Yeah, I'm holding my little whatever Odin symbol. I only know Thor's on foot. He's usually like a little figurine with his ravens and stuff. I don't know, maybe I have in my cheap jewelry that apparently I wear, maybe there's something that's got a raven bone or something, and I'm just like, hey Odin, I really hope you're listening because I need help.
Yeah, and then from each of your companions, a plus 10. So that's going to bring you to a final of 70, right? Which is comfortable, but this will also be a scaling success. This is a pretty tough ask. So while you're definitely going to move stuff forward, you'd really be hoping for a very good roll. Let's see if your rolls can really save you.
I really feel like with the amount of build-up we've had, it's gonna be just a colossal failure. That is...
if it's a fumble, we'll be very happy.
Oh, all right. 36!
Okay.
It's... Well, no, because we don't have hard successes.
We don't have hard.
Hard successes.
But it's 36. It's a pretty solid success. It's not...
Didn't even need the augment.
I mean, I needed the plus 30 at least. But at first you definitely see this kind of hardness behind Ari's eyes. But as you continue to talk, he does seem to do some calculation, basically. And after listening, I'm banking on the fact that this man is not only he's not a very big person, which makes me think that in order to be a good fighter, he has to be clever. He's like, if you're not big, you gotta be smart. And I'm banking on the fact that this guy has got some like nous to him.
That's true in my experience with the size of 18.
You
Intelligence off.
you reckon
Actually,
you're probably right, because he does seem to time everything very well. As you get towards the end of what you were saying, he seems to wait until you've sort of made the thrust of your point and you had maybe only a sentence more to go before he waves you to stop. It's a very calculated move, so he can sort of maintain a sense of dominance over the conversation while still having given you a chance to say everything that you said. And waving, he said, look, I see your point. On one hand, I'm not going to be in control of all these troops and all these battles forever. But on the other hand, Gowry the Easterner, this is the man who is leading the case against him, who has sort of become the head of the coalition. Look into his past. There was a time he was just like me. He's made all of these friends, and what'd you say? I'm the hell that's come to him. So, it's tough. I see, your words have wisdom, but I want assurances. I want more. It'd be very sensible for me to get as much as I can while I'm in such a powerful position. So, how about this? Collection of you are going to help me come to terms with Gowry. He drops his case. I'll step back and I'll accept some kind of nominal punishment so that everyone can look like they win. But I want some things at the side. I want you to talk to your captain friend and sort things out so I can lend my weight to the raid. I want you to make sure that the punishment, points at you, Mundi, isn't too severe. And, big man, it's a very nice sword.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I think I recognize the craftsmanship. That was previously destined for another warrior, was it not?
Yeah. Oh, Story of the Black. Is there a family connection here?
Well, and it might be in name only, but I think it would be more appropriate in my hands.
Oh, maybe. But should have come to the AlÞing, and maybe you could have gotten it. It's mine now.
He tilts his head towards the side, and after a second of awkward silence says, "Let me be clear. I'll accept the deal. I'll accept a nominal punishment if you can get Gowry to agree to it to be low enough, and if you give me help with getting your captain back on side, and you give me that sword. That's the deal as it stands."
Two of these things are going to be easier than the other one, I can tell you that.
He leans back for a moment, kind of folds his arms. The other thing is I'm going to need some kind of assurance that you don't just renege on the deal entirely and run off. So, at least one of you is going to have to come back to my camp to, make sure everything goes nice and we don't get into any severe arguments.
If you want us all to go and talk to people to make things happen, we are going to need to have time to do that. And if any one of us is kind of stuck here, that does make it a little bit difficult. Although I suppose, Niall, if you're happy to, I don't know, offer some training to the you are an expert swordsman and shield wielder. Not only yesterday you managed to strike down Vestin the Berserker.
That's true. That's true.
Which I don't know would have done the rounds yet. So that's a little bit of hey, we'll leave Niall. You can have a conversation about the sword. I wouldn't push it though. He killed a berserker. Kind of. So that's Ari's. Sorry, that's yeah. Mundi's thing is like, sure, you and Jarl can have a conversation about the sword together. We'll go off
I'd
and
be
do the
happy.
things that you want us to do, and we will. I mean, this like getting. There is no good reason for us to renege on this. We are looking for a compromise. We are looking for
No,
something
no,
that
no.
makes everyone like
I'm happy to
happy.
go in.
So it makes no sense
I'm
for
happy
us.
to
But
go
I
and meet you, man.
understand.
He's the kind of guy who would, so he thinks that everybody else is gonna.
That's fair, you know. I don't think
know
he'd
how these
deny it,
people
but
operate.
he seems pretty happy to just have Njal as a kind of assurance here. And if you're amenable to that, he basically hammers out a couple of details of the agreement, and then with his bodyguard and messenger in tow, who look pretty relieved to have avoided erupting into an all-out brawl, especially because there's a creepy law speaker hanging around who's certainly had some kind of fireball ready.
I just had my bow on my back, no biggie.
They'll split away. The exact details of this, just to give you a tug. So Nyal, you're going to go towards Ari's camp, where you're just going to stay and be you're effectively a hostage at this point, making sure that everything goes smoothly, but also someone who can maintain conversation and messages
Change
can get
hearts
out
and
if they're
minds.
needed. Pardon me?
Change hearts and minds
Oh, well, you know, if you
with a sword.
well, as we've established, your skill set is very heavily weighted towards whacking people. So, you know, the only
It's
way
true.
you're changing hearts is if they're on the end of a
Truly,
weapon.
I'm kind of going, if Ari wants your sword and you don't want to give him your sword, duel him.
Well, that was kind of as we the two of us walk away. I imagine we give
You'll have time to kind of
you
give a couple
we
of
give you
whispers
like
here.
a manly hug, clap on the back, and I will say fairly, not quietly, that I'm surprised Ari would be looking for a sword as a gift given to him, not one. It just doesn't seem like the kind of thing I would have expected from a hardened warrior like him. But people are always surprising, aren't they?
Well, must have reasons that he hasn't
Anyway.
gone the raid already.
Exactly.
Do you want to say
wants
it
it to be
loud
given
enough
to
for to try and get a message across?
Well, I suppose he's probably aggressively not listening to us because he doesn't care about us, but I'm sure his men are listening.
Sure, make an
plenty
intrigue
of
roll
people
then.
around.
We'll see what you can, how you time this in terms of the whole bit.
Skills. Back in time, that's the intrigue. Bam.
Hey,
Hey.
that's good. Is that a
Okay.
That is good.
Yeah, that is quite good.
It's a
I'm just
fifth, yeah?
quickly running the maths. I don't think it is a
No.
special
Quite.
success still, but well enough that you say it, definitely loud enough for not just Hjalmur, who's standing nearby to hear, but also one of the other bodyguards, and loud enough for them to hear it and then spot that the other one heard it, so they can't just sort of pretend easily, and you know that word is going to leach out in some capacity. So
Because, like, yeah, dude's asking for a lot of things to be just handed to him. It's not really awkward. Awkward.
as someone who does have that kind of intrigue skill, you're pretty sure it's because this guy just has no respect for decorum whatsoever. He's pretty cutthroat about getting things, but other people do, and you know, it can look somewhat cowardly. So
It looks bad,
well played
man.
there. What he wants from the two of you to organize, basically, two things, right? And he gives you just some sort of numbers and details on it. The first is that you need Firmur to speak to your mentee, the Shotur, the captain who has this ship, and he is trying to organize a raid, basically. That was an attractive proposition when it was going to be a get out of jail card, basically, and so he could run away because he had nowhere else to go to. But as just something that he's going to be signed on for with a potentially pretty rubbish captain and probably a pretty bad share of the profits, it's not super friendly. He wants you to get him at least up to a position of co-captaincy alongside your tour. So it's a joint venture by the two of them where they're going to sail out together and they're going to divide up the profits. I have not read what I am sure, considering that the rest of the Icelandic legal structure is here, what is probably a quite complicated detail about the division of loot. But there would be systems in place to basically, he wants to benefit more from the raid and have a greater deal of control, so we can try and steer it perhaps literally, if this guy's a bad pilot, in the direction that he wants it. As for Mundi, well, collectively more, as for the result of the case, you basically just need to get Gowry the Easterner to agree to drop this case with only a slap on the wrist. There can be some kind of extremely nominal, hand over this amount of goats, or make a payment, or accept some kind of responsibility. But anything that has a meaningful impact on this guy, he's not gonna go with.
I think we were chatting, or we were thinking at the end of last session, I believe, about essentially community service as a thing, and sort of saying, hey, you have a big band of people that you've been wandering around and like punching people and taking their pocket money. And Iceland is a dangerous place where people wander around and punch each other. So as kind of penance for that, why not lend a few of your men specifically for the protection of the community? It does not cost you anything, except you lose a couple of fighters, which, take your pick. I'm sure there's some that you would be willing to say, they're coming, but they're not the best warriors. And kind of like we may still need to do a slap on the wrist, like of some kind of finance, but that should.
Basically that can in itself constitute the slap on the wrist. He has to nominate a couple of fighters who go around and patrol. Here's the thing, though: if he has to maintain and make sure that those fighters are actually useful, actually doing anything, and not basically just wandering around and getting trashed in taverns whenever they pass one, that is going to be sort of like he wants this to blow back in no way on him. And in terms of you trying to convince him, that's what he's coming to the table with. Now, whether you've got a couple of options here. You can basically try and get that to be in agreement, or you can try and basically fall a bit short of that, and then when you come back to Ari, say, I got almost all of it, you better accept it because it's on the table. And that will mean that you'll have to sort of do that last closing of the deal. But yeah, it's something that constitutes a nominal slap on the wrist, like exactly as you suggested. Picking a couple of his worst fighters and sending them. But his plan is to probably, if this all goes well with Theomord, go on a raid. So he doesn't really want to be managing a bunch of stuff, and he's definitely not going to send his best troops there because he wants them with him, sailing down towards Ireland or somewhere else to pillage. I'm going to assume that the collection of you then all separate, heading back your different ways. Is there any last questions or clarifications you want to get from either each other or from Ari? No? Okay, perfect.
Do I have...
Have a think about it for a second if anything pops up, because otherwise I'll just mention that you turn about and heading back in the dead of night, Njal, you are taken towards Ari's main camp, which, as you sort of know, is now hidden away amongst the rocks not far from the AlÞing grounds. It is kind of semi-packed down. There's not many people in here anymore because everybody is stationed ready to move. You're not tied up or anything, but you're taken towards one of the open tents towards the side where there's blankets that have been set out across the ground. You're told to stay here, you're given some food, and you find that you're being watched pretty actively by a woman who you find out is called, pronounce this terribly, Seilug, who seems to be kind of this... she has quite a bit of authority, is able to kind of tell people what to do, just short of Ari, and immediately starts organizing everything as he goes back towards his tent. It is the middle of the night now, so you probably might want to catch a bit of sleep. The other two of you won't be able to sleep until you walk all the way back towards the AlÞing, and then from there, you can start to plan how you're going to get all of this together. Any last questions, Mundi? Did you think of anything?
Yeah. Are we, can we go with Njal just to see him to the camp and then head back? Or are we splitting at this point?
You can. They don't really thrilled about you knowing the exact location of the camp. Now you guys know because you had a scout who is currently lying drunk asleep. But you've got the location of the camp at a better degree. They kind of are relying on the idea that you don't exactly know where this is.
Okay. And how many people are we actually meeting with at this point?
Right now, amongst the collection of you, there is Ari, 2 of his bodyguards, and Hjalmur. So there are 4 people who you are with at this stage.
Yeah, I kind of want to, as we sort of are splitting off, I assume someone, like, in the way that you do after a meeting, you have quiet conversations.
Yep,
maybe
there's
Ari
a
doesn't,
moment where
but...
people will break apart to speak, and you can have a hushed word.
No, I was just gonna try and listen.
Okay.
To see if I could hear any conversation between the bodyguards and Ari, because Ari's obviously putting on quite like I'm the one in charge here, I'm the one in control here, but he's really not. Like, yes, he can bring a lot of warriors, but if the entire community says, actually get the fuck out, he's done. Like, he does not have, because what he's kind of risking is an entire community of people going, blood oath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You're done. Every single member of your family gone. Like, we don't want you here, and it kind of doesn't matter how powerful you are in like a small way if you don't already have control of the entirety of the population. Other people can bring other warriors to bear. They might lose more, but you will be gone.
For sure.
So like, I'm kind of curious to get a vibe of like, if there are any conversations between him and his bodyguards as he's leaving, or even just the bodyguards between each other to get a bit more of like is there anything under the surface that might be...
Absolutely. No, make a listen
Brewing.
check. That sounds perfect.
Yeah. Just, do I hear anything interesting as we're walking away? And maybe not, and that's okay. But I just want to try.
Should be under your... Well, your...
That's rude. It was 40 and then it bounced.
Oh, that is
not a
shame.
fumble.
Not a fumble.
No.
Look, you hear a couple of whispered words, but they all seem to you to be relatively on the level. There's orders, like he tells Hjalmur to go and alert a couple of the other sentries before looping back towards the town. He seems to just be giving standard organizational stuff, and you're not really in a position to kind of get extra out of this. He's ordering some troops to be watching near where the boat is. He's ordering some troops to be watching near where the council are going to be meeting. Yeah, you're definitely correct that he's... it's funny because he kind of holds no cards, but also all the cards. You're right. It doesn't matter if in the short term he's stronger, except that in the short term he's the strongest person here. So it's a little bit odd.
It only matters because we have ethics and morals.
Yeah, no, try getting rid of those, and you'd probably get along with him better.
Like we could straight up just try to assassinate him, but that's not going to be good for the community either. Because it'd be great if we could just actually use what he's got. But
and your Goatee would be very probably upset if you ended up getting a bunch of blood oaths sworn against you for that.
Yeah.
So splitting off then. The two of you head back towards the AlÞing grounds while Njal weaves up and, as I mentioned, ends up in the camp. As the two of you return, it is really the dead of night when you get back to the actual AlÞing, although there is still the slightest embers of celebration happening in the central area where people are drinking and having contests. I'm gonna safely assume you don't want to go back and pursue any more mini games at this stage. So the question is...
Pretty sure the only person who was interested in the mini games was Dave. The rest of us were like, "When do it, Birna? You go have fun. You go get drunk. You do your thing. We're gonna go actually like try and do the jobs that we were."
Very wise. She's got a kid. She doesn't get much time to live.
To be fair, Dave, the quest that she had was to get involved with the minigames.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
And with that in mind, basically, if you want to do anything overnight, try and push through the evening. You'll be tired come morning. Have to make a roll, but otherwise you'll be you might be able to get some crucial preparations done. Otherwise, it's crash and get ready in the morning to presumably rush over to Chotur and Gallery, respectively, and plead your cases.
Snooze him.
Snoozing? Okay.
No, I don't want to be tired tomorrow.
Everybody who I'd want to talk to is drunk. Like, there is no way old mate's sober still. So
Yeah.
either asleep or drunk. Like,
Fair enough. Nyal, anything cheeky you want to get up to in the dead of night?
No, I think I'll do what I'm told. I'm a good boy.
Okay. All right. Heading to sleep then. It's a pretty comfortable rest, apart from the tension that you can feel knowing that there is this literal storm on the horizon, because as was mentioned by the hidden person, come morning it starts to rain heavily. It's not enough to really massively disturb events, but it is enough to drive people away and have them staying mostly in their tents where it's dry, and also make it much harder to see things like approaching gangs of troops getting closer and closer towards the AlÞing, ready to move as they're needed. We're going to start off by talking to Nyal very quickly. In the morning, very, very early, before the rest of the camp is up, you see this woman I mentioned, Seilug. She stays up quite late, sorting everything out, packing down a bunch of stuff, and really only gets to sleep in the very, very early morning. It's only an hour or so later by your count, while the sun is only just starting to rise, that a second woman with short cropped red hair peers out from one of the tents, peers left and right, and heads very quickly over towards you, crouches down, and whispers in your ear really fast. She says, "I can get you alone with Ari if you're willing to do what needs to be done.
What?
I only have a minute. I can make it happen."
What do you need done?
Will you kill him? You'll have to do it quick. Tell me now. I can't. I only have a second.
That sounds like secret murder to me.
Yeah.
I just fought a duel about this.
Yes or no?
No, that's not how we do things around here.
Useless.
What's your name? Why did you ask that first?
She's seeing that you are resistant. She stands up, turns, and basically hurries away. Her initial pitch foiled.
I mean, it was worth a shot. Maybe another Viking, but not Jarl.
No, you literally did just fight a duel about this. That is true.
Yeah.
And in your head, is Niall just a true believer in all of this, or what's going through his mind as this happens?
I think he followed the law and he went through the proper procedures and he got a cool sword out of it. He's been rewarded for being a good boy, and he's going to continue being a good boy.
I love it. Makes total sense.
Who was that? I remember her face. I'm going to see where she goes. I don't like this.
She heads back into one of the tents. She appears to be just sort of a camp follower amongst the various people set up at the at Ari's lair is probably the wrong word here, but at his encampment. She definitely does seem to make an effort to not be seen by you. Do you intend to point her out when you get an opportunity and say, "Hey, that woman asked me to kill you"?
I wouldn't say that's my intent, because it's good to keep your cards close to you, but I certainly would want to know who she is. But it was still morning, it was still night. Did she keep her face hidden well enough?
Yeah, you saw her face. There's not a ton of people.
Right.
It's just where she's trying to avoid you. Make a listen check, I think, and this is just going to determine if you're able to sort of pick up a name or something like that.
Yeah, which section are we looking at? Communication? No, perception. Perception. Scrolling. And listen. Nope.
Okay.
I hear nothing.
It starts with an S, you're pretty sure. But you
Excellent.
missed the rest. Such is life. Anything you want to do, or are you just in waiting mode at this point? What are you going to be setting yourself to?
I'm gonna just try to introduce myself to
and just
anyone who's around.
All right, perfect. So you're just trying to you're trying to keep the vibes up. Understood.
Yeah.
You're all right. We'll come back to you in a little bit now that we've got sort of an approximate direction you're going. Meanwhile,
It would be kind of funny if all of Ari's troops mutinied just because you're a good boy and you seem like a nice guy
You're
who
just
is
so
honorable,
nice.
and strong. He's got the
I'm gonna-
sword. He beat the berserker. He follows the rules. He's not gonna get a bunch of blood oaths against you for acting like a dick in the community.
That's
And
kind of
he's
what I have in
strong.
mind.
It's
Worthy
the
leader to follow.
it's the cool church preacher has come in. And,
Yeah,
hey
you
everybody,
turned the
You
chair backwards,
bastard.
sat down.
let's talk about Odin. Meanwhile,
Introduce myself and show off my sword. It's a two-pronged strategy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it. Back in the main area of the AlÞing, Mundi, Timur, you both awake, and you have your targets, the people you need to go to. Who wants to start, or are you going to team up and go to each group as a duo? That will mean you just take longer to get it done.
And this rain is turning into a storm, and I know this, and we both know this. We need to get it done quick.
Okay, so splitting up then. Let's start with you then, Theomore, since you made the terrible mistake of speaking up. So you're going to head over to Hjotur, I assume, your mentee. Mm-hmm. All right. Hjotur's boat is basically entirely packed down at this stage, based on the conversations you had. There's some preparations to make it suitable, so it's not going to get hit in the storm. And he seems pretty glum. He's got like an awning, sort of like a market stall, set up outside in his small section of the river at the edge, where he's still trying to maintain this kind of recruitment drive to get people, but it's early now, so there's no one here, but you don't think it's been particularly busy for him. As you approach, he looks a bit glum. You poured cold water on his plans, so to speak. He was so convinced he had something. You've pointed out correctly that he would lose control. As he sees you, he puts on a brave face and...
I'm turning out with a hot mug of, basically a hot toddy. Nice old hot toddy to warm his bones. The opposite of some cold water here.
In
fact, if I could have actually picked up some heated alcohol on the way, I will offer it to him.
Yeah,
Warm mead is delicious.
Some delicious warm mead.
No, he takes this as as an extra one-on-one with his mentor. He's so pleased to get the FaceTime, and starts quickly talking about all the efforts he's been putting on to try and get people to join up, and mixed success he's having, and he's trying to see the whole thing with Ari as a learning experience, not a setback.
Do you think if you had a military-minded co-captain, that would encourage more sign-ups? This is your first venture out into the yonder, isn't it?
It is.
Could it be just a lack of confidence?
It's like you said though. I don't want to. What I don't want to do is put someone like Ari in charge and end up losing all control over the voyage.
That's true. That is very true.
Which you are about to ask him to do.
It is not a sure thing. But what if I could get a personal bodyguard for you to come along as well. Somebody who is physically capable of keeping Ari in check. So Ari has the captain's title. He gets a little bit more of a share, which money is a motivator for men. You know this.
Wait, so you think I
if he
should?
has a higher share, that might keep him a little bit more in line. And then if I can wrangle perhaps a personal bodyguard for you as the mission captain, if not as the raid captain, if not the combat captain, then that can somebody who, if Ari oversteps, he can leap in and come to defense of the raid as a whole. I have somebody in mind. Did you perhaps hear about the duel with the berserker?
Njal's battle. I heard. Yeah, the word spread. So what you're saying
Maybe
is
interested.
You're saying is I shouldn't have Ari on, but if I have someone that can keep him controlled, I should.
Absolutely. If you've got enough measures of control for Ari, because he was trying to control you. But that's the game that men play, isn't it?
He kind of he hesitates a little bit. So okay, this guy is not the most aware, like socially political gaming person. He's not particularly good at this, but what he is confused, because you did push him pretty hard. Don't let Ari on. This is a reversal of direction. You've got a good angle for it.
I said don't bring his troops here for him. That's a dumb idea.
Yeah, well, that's true. So here's how I think we'll do it. It's not going to be a special success requirement, so it's just going to be a straight roll. But I think, and it will be an intrigue roll, which I believe you're pretty decent at. But at the minute, it's going to be a -20 towards it, and that's just going to be reflective of the this is a back angle to the pattern. Let's actually do one more thing, which might mitigate it slightly. Mundi. You mentioned previously that you've been telling a couple of stories and trying to big up Njal. I'm a big fan of trying to get some of that sort of a story skill and
Yay! I get to
performance
be a
stuff.
storyteller.
Exactly. Can you make
Let me
can you
tell
make
a story.
your appropriate role there for I believe it's the is it performance?
No. Do you want
I want your
skaldic poetry?
Let's do
I
that.
do.
And what
I
we'll
do.
do
I
is
very
we'll
much
have,
do.
based on the success of that, this is how much you've managed to bolster the story of Njal beyond just kind of its spreading. This might influence the direction of the how appealing the role is.
Hold please. Well, I try and find the thing that I'm looking for.
Take your time. So in the meantime, Thimord, if you want to have a think about what you might boost this with, if you want to spend any devotion points.
Odin, yeah.
Okay, so devotion point
wisdom.
for Odin, just one.
I'm going to pump 2 into it.
Pump
'cause
two
I
into
was
it. Is that
holding-
gonna
I was
leave you
holding, 'cause I've got
dry?
3.
Okay.
Yeah, because I used one. And when do they refill?
I think you used one earlier. Was it with the hidden
I did.
person? But I believe you have 2 left as well. I think
Yeah,
that,
and I have Ulla one, so I used one for Ulla, one for Odin, and I've got the 2 for Odin left.
Okay, perfect.
Unfortunately,
Which I was
found-
holding on to for magic-y purposes, but it looks like I'm doing the entry instead.
Intrigue is its own kind of magic.
Yeah.
I was just gonna see if I could boost with my remaining point, but I can't. I don't think because the only god I have left is Freyr.
Yeah, this is also a bit retroactive, I
Yeah.
think. So yeah, we'll just get the cold roll.
Alrighty, let's do some skaldic poetry. Oh god, I hope I'm good at this. Yeah.
Okay, success.
65.
So
Not bad.
what we'll do is we'll knock that bonus down. So the reduction
Penalty?
from -20 to -10. Basically, he is confused. He is having to go back a bit here. But the
Njal,
the one with the black sword.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
All right.
him.
This is
The
kind of
big
interesting.
fella.
So you're going to have a -10 to this roll at this point, but then you're going to have a plus. You're knocking 2 devotion points into this, so that's plus 30, which means that would just become a flat plus 20. So I'm looking for an intrigue roll. You get a plus 20 bonus.
Yup. Scrolling up. There you up. Good. Good. Nope. Good. Yep.
There are a
think
lot of
so,
skills in this
no.
game.
Nah.
Oh, is that the roll going through? Sorry, I
Nope.
might be slightly out of sync.
That's a fail.
73 over 60.
Okay. He ums and he ahs, and you can just hear in his voice now that you very successfully awakened his pride last time, and he just seems a little unwilling to compromise on it again. He almost like he's definitely not throwing words back at you, because he does totally seem like enamored of your teachings. If anything, you worry he might think this is a test. And he's trying to sort of demonstrate that, no, I did make this decision, and I'm holding to the conversation that I'm not a flip-flopper. I was right, and you can just feel
okay.
that every word that you're hitting him with is biting down.
I'm gonna shrug and say, look at the sky and say, well, I'm disappointed, quite frankly. But good luck finding people
No.
for the voyage.
So
You're not angry, you're just disappointed?
Just
That's
I
the
love
worst.
it. So just quickly, now, because you do have opportunities to reattempt rolls. Here's what the shape of that
I'm
is,
going for.
right? Basically, you can leave now, and then it's possible that down the line, in a couple of hours, maybe, if things haven't gone completely out of control, Mundi might be able to make a reattempt, or if circumstances change, you could try and convince him otherwise.
Well,
Otherwise, you can remake the same roll, and you take a -20 reduction to it, right? So this would go, you now know how
So
it would
it goes
counteract
back
your
down
bonus
to normal.
entirely. That's now gone. But it is quite similar to pushing a roll. If you fail this one, you have additional penalties. So this would be actually pissing him off, and he would, you'd probably not be able to rely on him as a contact.
Here's the thing. Raids happen pretty often. We said we'd send him on a raid. This raid wasn't going to happen today. It was going to happen at some point in the future. I have to get him into a raid. But also, he was interested in the raid as a get out of jail free card. We are interested in the raid to get him out of the community and to hopefully be doing some good things. So the raid is actually less of an Ari thing. Like, that is not really one of his conditions. It was one of ours.
It did come up in the negotiations, though, so you're right.
And it gets him some money. It does get him some money, which is good for him. However, I know that the rest of the day is going to be pissing down with rain and hail. Almost not getting anybody signing up to a raid on a miserable bloody day like this. He doesn't have... This is his first raid. He's got no credentials as a captain. I will not be throwing my weight behind him unless he agrees to have Ari... And I am graciously also offering a negotiation with Njal.
Yes.
To come along as to mitigate the Ari-ness of it all. And if he declines that, so be it. But then there will be no more assistance from me on this with this voyage.
I totally see the angle. So for now, biding your time, basically not going to make the additional roll here. See if circumstances change.
See what kind of a day he has.
Exactly. If you don't get a chance to change this, you have it. What this is definitely going to do is put a lot of onus on the conversation with Gallery, because if you had come with like you've fallen short in one area, maybe he still accepts it. If you've fallen short in both, it's very unlikely that he'll still be willing to make the deal. So, with that in mind...
But there also might be a mutiny in his camp. So...
That's true. We'll jump back to Nyan in a second. But Mundi, first of all... rushing through the rain, you can gather to see...
Mundi does not rush anywhere.
Mundi's having a delightful stroll.
It's one of those... Here's the thing. If you run through the rain, you get wetter than if you just walked. So I'm just like, I'm gonna put my hood up, I'm gonna get under my cloak, but I've got my little quarterstaff, and I'm just making my way. I'm gonna be like,
trudging, ambling, walking,
rolling,
just walking. I don't think there's any like specific. It's not a trudge. Actually, like there's a little bit of like a boot gets stuck in the mud, and you have to make that like to get it out because it's muddy, and that's a little.
Squelching through the rain.
I was squelching through. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Squelching through the rain and the mud, you end up...
Which is like both trudging, but like I would like to think that Mundi is like a little child about it. It was like, this is annoying, but then it's like, but this makes a fun
The
sound.
emotional connotation is not there. No, I get it, yes. You arrive at the... area of the AlÞing around the central ritual stone where the various groups that are going to have cases today are all gathering together to prepare and to talk. Gallery is there early. He is a pretty tall guy. He maybe is that stereotypical image of what a hero would have been some time ago. He's definitely older. He hasn't so much gotten wider with age as he's frailed. He doesn't look weak, but he definitely doesn't have the muscle to back up his frame, and he's a little angular with quite well-styled hair pulled back in a tail. Seeing you approach, he is respectful. He knows that you're going to be one of the jurors presiding over the case, and you can absolutely try and pull him into a conversation about how to resolve this out of the legal system. What's your pitch?
My friend, good morning. I hope you have begun the process of recovering from the night before with a fine horn of ale, of mead, actually, would be. I'll pull him aside, like sort of do the public thing, and then be like, kind of step aside and be like,
happy to come along.
Okay. So Ari.
Yes, I understand this is going to be a difficult case for you to preside over. I know there's a lot of connotations and consequences which could come as a result. What I want to stress is that I have the backing of a whole community. Ari is an isolated and, frankly, dangerous individual.
No, I don't disagree. However, he is not as isolated as I think perhaps this the Alþing believes him to be. He has a camp not far from here, full of armed men and women and etc., who are quite willing to stand behind him if things do not go his way.
I mean, I don't doubt it. He is not a reasonable man, and this is clearly a breach of decorum. As much as he might try and pretend and hide it away, if he's doing this, he's trying to threaten the outcome. All the more reason we need to push him and make sure that the punishment for his murder doesn't go unanswered.
When you are faced with an angry dog, do you put your hand in its face to push it away, or do you throw something for it to chase?
I admit I don't have much experience, but you're suggesting that a distraction.
I'm suggesting that we give Ari something that he wants to direct his ire elsewhere so that the community remains safe and whole and as does the outcome that the community wants, is it that they wish for Ari to leave them alone? Or is it that they want him to suffer in some way that looks and feels right?
Look, so when he starts to bristle as you're clearly kind of trying to do some politicking, but he doesn't seem angry. You know, after a bit of pushing, he speaks more clearly, and he says, "What you're suggesting? First of all, Ari killed Otkel. It's a crime, and Otkel's family deserve this to be answered. They have every right to see a fair punishment applied. Now, I understand that sometimes there are additional considerations that need to be made. I know that we might need to bide our time or think strategically, but here's what I want. What does this say about the way we are doing things here? What does this say about our legal system if, assuming you are powerful enough, the laws don't apply to you anymore? We can brush this under the rug. We can distract him. We can send him on raids and keep him away and make enough noise that the people involved, maybe they feel appeased, or they don't feel that their honor has been besmirched at the least. But we are teaching a lesson to every other person that the legal system can be circumvented, and all of this whole thing, it doesn't matter. It's just theater. And maybe it is, but that's only true if we allow it to be. I fear that what we do here with Ari will determine how the future of our society is structured.
I hear your concerns, and I agree with them. I genuinely do think that Ari is a danger to our community. Right now, in this very moment, Ari is a great danger to everyone here. And that is currently the focus of my immediate concern. I agree that the Alþing is a powerful tool that we diminish at our own peril. But as the person who tells the stories, let me tell you how many changes to the way people see things a story can have. I tell you about Loki, the trickster god, And in some stories, we love him. And in some stories, we hate him. But he is still the same god. He is still Loki. It is the telling that changes how we feel about a thing. So if we tell the tale that what we do here today was just and reasonable and fair, then what we do tomorrow, that can be different, and that can be a different story again.
I love the pitch. It's going to come down again to how convincing you can be to this guy, and sadly here, I think it is another all right check. I'm so sorry, but here's a condition. You are, admittedly, a pretty damn good Skald, and despite having beefed the role that happened before, your reputation as a no, you passed that role. Sorry, what am I saying?
I beefed that one.
You beefed that one. I'm getting mixed up.
We've been working our asses off to get fair and reasonable solutions at this whole thing. So to say that the AlThing doesn't matter just because the trial's not going your way, excuse us.
Oh, well,
the
no,
AlThing matters.
you
We've
are
been working our
totally...
ass off. I'm so glad I'm not in this conversation because I'd be pissed.
You are totally right, and it's very much it's the principle of the thing, and like, okay, well,
but he's right.
I'm
the
sure you'd be so willing
should apply to Ari, and it is the difference between, do you want the laws to apply today and everyone gets stabbed, or do you want the laws to apply to him long term, which is something that like is important and must happen, but we cannot necessarily do in the heat of this specific moment based on the factors in front of us.
So what we'll do
like fining rich people. It's just like, okay, sure, the law can apply and it will not matter to them.
Yeah, well, so
get him on tax evasion.
I haven't seen a section on taxes yet, but well, I'm sure. Anyway, plus 20 because of your reputation as a bard and because you have basically built together a pretty effective point here. I'm pretty sure you're out of devotion for this, though.
I have one.
One, that'll get you a plus 20.
It is Freyr, is my final.
Do you have an argument for Freyr? And it's Freyr, not Frey...
Freyr, the brother.
Okay, fantastic.
His ideals are family, nature, and prosperity.
I can see prosperity for this. This is sort of the wellness of the realm. That works for me.
I mean, also, like, so Freyr is... People who worship Freyr dedicate their lives to farming rather than raiding abroad. And they like, the idea of prosperity being like, you grow things, you build something, you create something that isn't just immediate fighting and damage. So I think in this, I'm leaning on the like, yes, we must, like, the laws do apply and the laws will apply and Ari will eventually be made to understand that the way that he functions in our society is not appropriate, but that is going to take time and we must build towards being that.
I get that. So
plant a seed.
All right, plus 20. And then plus 20 again for the circumstantial bonus.
All right, plus 40. My word.
Fingers crossed indeed.
Where did my whole
So that'll go to 60 final. Which is again
I've just lost my right.
just over half.
Yeah, so all right.
And considering that Timur at the minute doesn't have an angle on the boat, this so close. If you didn't have every little bit of that, okay.
Wow.
I was about to say, looks like it's all down to Jarl, but no, it's not.
Again, well, even still. So with it's not a neat conversation, and although we won't play it out, there is an immediate high degree of back and forth. Timur, I assume you do join the conversation at some moment and manage to get a couple of pretty key barbs in, explaining.
I'm not gonna fuck this one up.
Yep.
You can't tempt
yep.
me to fuck this one up.
But after back and forthing for a while, he'll eventually agree, yielding and saying, "I'll agree to withdraw if we can put together a show of a ruling that brings some kind of acquiescence to. I
We are going-
keep defaulting to very big words, which I feel like a Viking wouldn't be using, but that is a worded. It's big Icelandic words.
What we're essentially doing is going, hey,
Of
your
course, I guess.
punishment is you are banished to go on a raid and bring something back that benefits the community. That is the line we are taking. And the story we are telling is this man is like being not like permanently exiled, but like is being sent on a raid, on a dangerous raid, to go and do something and like bring back prosperity for the community.
Yep.
And like Ari can read that as, oh, we're just using flowery language to let him do what he wants. I think the intention is no, Ari's gonna come back with all of this stuff from a raid and find a rather large group of people waiting for him, saying, great, now hand over our percent. Hand over what you owe us for what you did to us, and then you can go and do whatever you want. But that's not even remotely being discussed. That is more that like conversation of what we are doing is giving ourselves time to properly address this and like treat it as you are being banished to go and do a thing.
And with the idea of sort of putting this towards supporting Otkel, the murdered's family, there is a pretty good justification for this for how this appears towards Gowry and his side. The problem here is now that you need to basically organize a raid like this. So you either need to get Hjotur to agree to some kind of terms, or you need to, and this is something that you would be, basically, you would end up leaving this with a fairly large obligation towards setting up a raid that you are going to be bringing a quite dangerous person on and giving them a large share of the profit, which is the kind of consequence for the AlThing that would go into longer play. But let's see if you can maybe avoid that hanging over your head. First, though, unless Timur, you look like you wanted to add something?
There are a couple of other things that I've got that I will try with All Might with the raid, is just simply that I would offer to go along myself, maybe. I'd say I'd consider going along on this raid myself, because the diary will need people keeping him in line, and I've got my magicies. But then I'd just accept that he said no, and I would start asking him if he knew of anybody else, surely, while he was organizing this raid.
In front of him.
Yeah. Or ask him if he knows anyone, if there's anyone else he can recommend. Because I put all of my hopes onto him, and unfortunately, if he's not willing to do it, I'm just gonna have to find somebody else. And does he know of anybody? I was also considering going myself and accompanying on this raid.
Oh, I love it.
And also, they're going to be a hero in the community, because now that we have secured the other party stepping down, and this being an acceptable way for Ari to repay the community, whoever runs this raid is going to be a hero. Like, whoever's raid this is, they're stepping in, and they are really, really putting in the hard yards for their people here. And they're going to be, there's going to be ballads about them.
And I would like to support this by, like, kind of being nearby and, like, kind of going, by the dark swan roads, blank for captain name, stared out greatly across the wide and dark ocean, like, is kind of like just penning something already starting to sound epic, and kind of and very specifically like blank for captain name. We'll insert later, just like mumbling about like the kind of epic prose that is gonna go along with this, and leaving the space of like, your name here?
I like it a lot. That is perfect. So, we'll get the roll for that in a second. It is going to be...
I don't know what the hell kind of roll that's going to be. But
well, I think probably intrigue, but we'll come back to it in a second, because...
if I get time to go under the cloak...
Yeah, well, actually, do you? You could try, and it's whether you have enough time will be based on the roll. You go back to that same quiet area that you found in the first session. The rain is like a white noise machine. It's perfect.
Super is.
Make a roll for under the cloak.
Let me find it again. I'm scrolling a really long way. Hold, please. Go under the cloak.
It is under mythic.
Mythic skills, the best kind.
Yeah.
Das gut.
Okay,
I need
perfect.
a refresher.
Okay,
What
so
is,
that's
what is it a euphemism for something?
going under the cloak. Going under the cloak is a
I'm praying. I'm being mythic and magical.
It's literally a skill of basically it's meditation, but it's literally you put your cloak around you, and in the sort of like sensory deprivation thing, you can do quite deep meditation. The funnily enough, the
That's
skill
1 point off of being a five.
I know.
yeah.
I know.
The image for the skill, if you're interested, is the thumbnail, I believe, for the second episode. If anyone wants to check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you, with a regular success, you are going to restore magic points. I think that, I'll tell you what, roll a d4. We'll give you that many restored, and this is, you get a couple of hours of time to just kind of push through this.
Lovely.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you can restore 4 magic points. Perfect.
Can I?
Great. I'm going to just immediately pump them into some runes, into my trust, relationship, generosity spell, which is something I use when I need to ask somebody for aid, and adds 30% to the sheet's got charm, but the runes in the book, in the reference book, the exact runes I'm using specify charm or all right.
Yeah, I'm totally happy for. We'll definitely factor that into account.
Yeah.
We'll go through the exact mechanics in a second, but first of all, Mundi, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, if we have a couple hours to do something, we're at an AlÞing, right? Which
Yeah.
is like a big party, but also like kind of still a place where like the movement of society still happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an AGM.
Can I make an offering to the gods?
For sure, yeah. There are several offerings being made at points again and again. So I'm assuming you want to restore a devotion point is what you're going for here.
So it is replenish. You replenish dedication points by a successful worship deity role when performing sacrifices or rituals, or when taking part in religious festivals at temples.
Can
Absolutely.
I come too?
I assume that you were doing the under the cloak things. I was like,
I think you are. That said, Theomord, you are a rune speaker. This is kind of your bread and butter. You are pressed for time, though. So
Yes,
what I'll
sure.
do is this: both of you can make a
would
worship roll, and this represents the two of you going into one of the sort of many sacrifices that are happening. There's a very large one that happens towards the end. And Theomord, you can have it at -20 because you are pressed for time. If you
Sure.
succeed it, you can participate and restore
yeah.
a devotion point in one of the deities of your choice. I'll get you both to roll that, but we'll go through the impacts of it a second because I want to jump across to Njal just to figure out one or two last things. Okay, Njal, you're trying to be nice to everyone in camp.
I mean, let's be honest
This
here.
sounds like a charm check, pure and simple.
Guess it sure does. My charm is 10.
Okay, and what's your communication skill bonus?
Oh no, it's my charm is base 15.
So you
Minus
have
5
-5,
communication.
so your charm is 10.
That's
so you're
it.
going around, people are gazing at you, giving you side eye. They're basically just warriors and people who are really sworn to Ari. There's maybe 6 or 7 people here. Yeah, make me a charm roll. Let's see how well you do.
Let's see. Yes, big ass character sheet. Skills, communication, and a charm. And a hop.
Oh my, so close.
Yes, 94 over 10. It's not
Okay.
quite it. Almost a fumble, I believe.
Yes,
Not quite.
but fortunately you're okay. What is it that people find really grating about you?
It's the sword. I hate to bring everything back to the sword, but like, it's the fact that he really wants to show off the really cool kind of obsidian black inlay. And as a result, he just kind of is wandering around camp with his sword out a little bit more often than would be polite.
Yes,
In peacetime. That's what it is.
I like
It's
that.
just
And
the
they
sword.
sort of did you a bit of a favor, kind of, by not basically disarming you and taking your weapons. All things considered, you're flaunting it a bit much. So you spend a couple of hours trying to sort of convince people that, hey, they're not such a bad sort, but they really do not pick up your attempts at conversation. They're pretty abrupt. The one last check I'm going to ask you to make then, I think, is a spot hidden check.
Ooh, that's spicy. Perception, spot hidden, and a hup. Better. It's a success against the odds.
So as the day gets on a little bit and the storm starts to grow in intensity, the rain now lashing at the tent, starting to whip them around a bit, you can see Ari begins to get more and more nervous. Two of his bodyguards leave, going into the central AlÞing to basically represent him. He's not going to be in presence himself. He's here around at the edges and then probably getting ready to run. He starts pacing back and forth more and more. At one point, he comes over to you and loudly declares, the agreement, right? If they come with an offer, I want that sword.
Yeah. Well, we gotta figure something else out, I'm sure. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, don't. He's distressed, basically. Kind of, you brushing it off.
Not committing either way.
Pardon me.
I'm not committing either way.
Yeah. And he definitely notices. He doesn't fly off the handle or anything like that. But since you've left it open to maybe Mundi or Timur could bully you into it, he just resumes pacing. Your spot hidden check is that at kind of like just prior to noon, amongst all the rain, when there's a particularly large gust and part of the side of the one of the large tents that you were resting under goes, and everyone rushes over. Seglur is sort of grabbing a hold of the support stick, and he rushes in. You catch another glimpse of this red-headed woman who has been bustling around the camp. You've spotted her once or twice, as I mentioned. You haven't outed her, but you can see as the rain is going and everyone's sort of caught and chaotic, she moves from where she was packing up a set of supplies to keep them out of the rain, and you see a glint of metal in her hand as she heads towards Ari with the impression that she's looking like she's going to try and help. She's fairly slightly built. She has a weapon. He's not aware of her. She doesn't have armor. He doesn't have armor. You kind of notice this just in time.
Fantastic.
And I want an intention from you, and then we'll jump back to the others to see just how far this goes.
I'm gonna step right in and whip my shield out and try to knock the weapon out of her arm with my
so you're
shield.
going to intervene
myself
to protect
between her and Ari. Absolutely, I am.
Fantastic.
We don't do
like
secret murder.
We don't do secret murder. You're resisting the politics. I love it. Okay, so
absolutely.
We'll jump back to that in a second, but in the meantime, first of all, Mundi, Timur, as the storm gets worse, as the poor Hyotur's awning collapses, and as you start to loudly proclaim you're looking for maybe other interested parties and leaning every bit of weight you can on this guy. We're going to ask for a renewed version of the roll. First of all, worship rolls. From what I saw, Timur, you succeeded yours. Mundi, you failed yours.
Sure did.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sad about it. I like Odin. We're pals, but apparently I'm just 1 point not enough of a pal.
Is it that you're exhausted? Is it that you can't find peace? What do you think goes wrong here?
I think if there actually maybe is an element of not even like I can't find peace or I get distracted. It's I think Mundi really does believe at this point that he has done everything he can. There is no wisdom left for Odin to provide. He has already done his best. Everything he has laid out all of the possible avenues. He has placed things in front of people, and the only thing left to do is to trust that the gods will take it from here. Like this that if Odin's wisdom, if other people are willing to listen to the wisdom of Odin, they will take the paths that have been laid for them. But Odin is also the god of war, and if they decide that warring is the way to go, then who is Mundi to stand in the way of Odin's decision? It is just simply a case of I have placed the pieces on the board, and now it is for for everyone else to play it out. And so I think it is just like an acknowledgement of like, you know what? I am trying to get something out of this as opposed to just worshipping for the sake of worshipping. And that kind of hits
It
and it's
throws
like,
it all
no,
off.
actually, no.
I love it.
I don't need this.
Now, that is...
I still, obviously, like, I'm still going through the motions of worshipping and being respectful, but I'm not actually looking to gain anything from it anymore.
And as the ceremony draws to a close, you know that you don't have much time left. You need to get back to meet with Ari before all of the, events of the case basically get so far forward that you need to have both parties agree nominally at this stage. So, going back down, you can speak to Hyotur, and I'll just remind you of the kind of steps here that we're going to be looking at. One way or another, you're going, unless he's about to get stabbed, that could throw a spanner in the works, but we'll leave that to Niall. One way or another, you're going to have to go back to Ari, and you are going to have to convince him to accept whatever the deal that is made. So far, the 3 beats are you needed to get a willing kind of concession from Gauri. That has worked. You've got that concession. The second thing is you need to get that sword. TBD. The third thing is that you need to be able to facilitate a raid that is going to be pretty advantageous towards him. That is going to be either something that is left as a fairly significant burden for your characters, or it is going to be something that you lock in here. If you spend a bunch of your stuff trying to lock in this raid, you might not have enough resources or reserves left to convince Ari to swing round and accept potentially what might be a lower rate. But let's talk about the mechanics. Theomordi, you've already made an intrigue check to try and bait this guy into agreeing. You can make another intrigue check, you can replace it, but again, it's going to take that -20 penalty to intrigue, right? If you use specifically intrigue. If you change tack and start using orate, for example, you've got these runes, you could boost it all of these different ways. You could try and be assisting Mundi to sort of lead in the central part of the thrust. You will not take that -20, but your skill is a lot lower in orate. Taking a step back.
Charm, can we move more onto the charm route of this amazing poetry that is being written without him, and
I think that what it
My
is...
friend,
you seem like the kind of man who could use...
We're asking you because we want you to do it.
To me, charm
You would
charm
use
is
this well,
is,
right? You would use this opportunity
the
well.
intrigue is still the bait, but it's going to help. So to me, what I think is that if you can get him so kind of like invested in having Mundi on side, you can counteract that negative that has been applied. But I don't think you're going to be able to lead this role with charm. It's not an outcome-driven kind of test in that way. You're not trying to get him to like you. You're trying to get something out of him, and that either means you trick him or you convince him.
What's your orate again?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Because I can give you 30% to orate.
My orate is 20, so that would take us up to 50. I am tapped for points. Like I can't bump anything. What I do have, although I don't know if it, Jim, if I use intrigue, do I take the penalty because I am a different person? Like, is it per person or is it per skill?
I think that for the purposes of this, we're going to say he's a little aware to tricks at the minute. So I think I will, for simplicity's sake, yes.
Because I do actually have intrigue. Not great, but I have it more so than orate. Although at this point, I really feel like that should be the other way around. Really should have put those points in orate instead. But yes, I do have. I have. The only thing will be, of course, if we use the magics to bump this roll, there is nothing we have to convince Ari.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Because I went under the cloak. I got magic points back. I got a devotion point back.
Perfect. Okay.
I got 2 of these up my sleeve.
So what's the angle? Who's making the test? And if it and are you gonna try and counteract this intrigue penalty with a charm potentially? What's the go?
Well, I can put it into orate for you.
Okay. That takes me up to 50.
Charm.
If it's
50,
30,
which is
yeah?
higher than what my intrigue would have been with the penalty. Yep.
Yeah. So but it's a 50-50. It may not.
There we go.
I can't put any of my devotion points onto you, can I? I do, yeah. And then, yeah. So I think just coming out of the ritual.
That rune can't bump intrigue, can it?
No.
Okay.
Now,
It's
I
all
will
right
say
or
that if you're not, because I sort of had it in my head here, you're both basically attempting a roll, potentially. So, Mundi could make a charm check to try and negate the intrigue penalty on you. If you're not going to try and negate that penalty, if you're going to use orate, if basically, Thimul, you've given the runes, that's a spell by itself. If you want to then just come in and assist the orate check, you can. That'll just add a plus 10%.
Just by presence.
Yep.
Just by hanging out.
So that'll get it to 60 orate, which I think is better.
It's pretty good.
And if you wanted to get wild, and it'll be a risk, the only higher push is if you had a passion you could justify Mundi.
Oh, wait, I forgot about passions.
You've got a passion.
I have honor, love of family, and loyalty to my king.
Loyalty to your king, my guy.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to do this to get the best possible outcome for my king. And also, like...
Honor.
Yeah.
Just honored. Like, we're just trying to...
You are
genuinely
meant to
trying to get
call
a
on
community-oriented
passions. This is
solution.
you are definitely, you're doing all of this on behalf of your Godi. At this point, you are not invested in the situation. Well, Nyal is kind of over there now, but you got into this because you were trying to help out. Here's the thing: what's your value of your passion?
80.
80. Okay, so it's a seemingly safe bet, but we've seen fumbles on 90s, so.
I mean, I feel like do we take the 60? Or do we try for higher and possibly get a penalty?
I think go for it.
I think we try for
Go for the
higher.
passion.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
go for the passion, because if we, like, this is it. This is the crunch
My
time.
kingdom for a raid.
All right, here we go. So passion first, value of 80.
Yes.
49.
Nice.
49
Beautiful.
plus 20
And as
bonus, which will bring you from 60 to 80. So final value of 80.
My
there might be a few
God.
extra buttons to do there. You might just want to do a
Hell yeah.
D100.
And I think as
no,
we
it's not
walk
too
out
bad.
of the as we walk out of the ritual, I'm gonna clap you on the back, and I've already got a rune with me, and tell you that we speak with honor and courage today, and we do it not for ourselves, but for our people, for our community, for others. And so today we are blessed.
Do you let Mundi know that you're kind of casting spells here, or is it your sort of in the shadows subtle magic?
I'm pretty bloody subtle.
Yep, okay.
He knows what I do, though. Like, he knows.
You've given
he
me the
knows that I'm
runes
that guy.
before,
Yeah.
and I don't have a like.
He's never.
Whether
he
I
hired
know
me,
it's
he knows I'm
magic
that
or
good.
not, I know
Yeah.
that a couple of times, Theomore, like, every now and again, Theomore says something, and it just really galvanizes
It's
Mundi,
probably
and
the
Mundi
source
feels
of all your
good
cheap
about it.
jewelry, I imagine. There's
Wow.
probably several pieces of them that are sourced from some of the charms that have been given to you. At any rate, final of 80. Let's see that roll. $49.
Very
Perfect.
nice.
Okay.
What? No, 37.
37.
on
Even at 49 was a previous one. Sorry, I was looking
Yeah.
too high.
No,
No, you're all
37.
good. 37. It's, again, I'm not really hitting those special successes, but oh boy, I'm getting...
It's good.
Again, back and forth. The special successes is a heavy degree. This is grinding it out debate. And although your words do have kind of a honeyed heavy weight to them, the rain is getting so loud and the wind is howling, you're having to shout, huddled under what's left of the awning for the last bit until finally, and you're not sure whether it's because he just wants to get out of the rain. Your tour said, fine, okay, if you can sort out that Nyal will be there, and Thimord, if you'll come too and you'll support me, then all right. He can have his share of the loot, and he can have control over the troops. Be in both our names. And with that, you basically
I will have the lore
law
speaker,
speaker,
yeah.
as in like LAW speaker, write it down.
Yep, no, this is absolutely something that can be you put it in, not in ink, you put it in stone and rune, and in an agreement that will hold, and rush out at this point. You've got enough. The rest is whether you can get Njal to agree to hand over the sword, and then all of the conditions would have been met. But meanwhile, in the
That's up
camp,
to him.
standing up, you spot this woman take her shot. She rushes forward while Ari is distracted and tries to go for him. You spot it, and that means you have a chance to interrupt. You grab up your shield and dive forward, and you're going to try and make a shield roll for this.
Exactly right.
Okay.
And again, literally my highest skill at 90. I said it last time, and it went poorly for me, but I'm never going to fail a shield roll. Not again.
Let's see.
Hubris.
I think
Yeah,
that's, I think
boy.
that's what we
Oh
call
my
a
God.
special success, if I'm not mistaken.
So what does it look like? You know, Ari hears a
man.
yell, or what happens?
I think like I'm probably like thinking about getting out my sword and twirling it around again a bit. And in this moment, I see what's about to happen, and I think I let it fall to the ground and just dive forward with my shield out. And so it's the shield that comes flying out and hopefully knocks the weapon asunder. But I don't mind if everyone notices that in this moment that I'm so opposed to secret murder and doing things the wrong way that I would let my prize fall away if it means preventing such a terrible thing to happen again.
I love it. I would like you to make, I think, a insight check.
Insight?
Yes,
Or
we will see
intrigue?
how aware Njal is of things in this moment.
Not very. 25 isn't bad. And perception is scrolling.
Got any god points for that?
I mean, I do. But I'm still looking for the Control F. Does Control F work? That's the secret. Control F works.
I'll speak out to you
damn.
what I'm doing this roll for while you
Go
search,
for it.
basically. This is there's a little bit meta. Having attacked, there's every possibility here that Ari turns around and kills this woman. He is not a good guy. You got a special success, and if it was a regular success, you kind of committed, and you've shown it that you might are you going to turn around, defend her, or what? But with a special success, I would be happy for you to try and say, I realize this, and I try and make it subtle, or you just out that someone tried secret murder. The penalty for that, do you want to let this stand? Insight would be determining how basically aware of what's happening around him Njal is, and whether he has the wherewithal to try and stop all of that.
Oh no, someone slipped and a knife was going towards you, and I just had to make sure that, some injury was not occurred. Oh my goodness, what?
How lucky!
I'll just make this a regular roll, and I'll see what I see.
See what you see, please.
I see nothing.
You see nothing. In which case, the woman whose name, which she might not get much of a chance to speak, so for our conveniences, her name is Svanhildur, howls
So
out.
not
There are
beginning
no
with S at all.
S's in that name. There are 0 S's.
Svan. S-V-A-N. Svanhildur.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear. It's fun. Okay. I did not hear that.
Svanhildur.
That's all right then.
Yeah.
Svanhilda. Go on.
Svanhildur howls out in anger. Ari turns, sees that you've stepped in with the shield. His eyes track across the sort of whole situation. You see him note what you've done, that you've put up the shield.
And let my sword fall.
And let your sword fall. His eyes flick to the sword. His eyes flick to Svanhildur. And he gives that same smile, except this time it absolutely reaches his eyes. As soon as the threat of violence seems to erupt, he smiles. He waits for a second, and then a couple of things all go at once. He walks towards your fallen sword. Svanhildur turns and runs off into the rain. and Seylug is left with that. Whoa! It's almost overbalancing as she's now left the only one holding up the awning that is being caught by the wind. I assume you hover. What's your immediate action?
Sorry, Svanhild is turning and running away.
She's just turning and running at this stage.
I think I'd make an attempt to like stop her or like call out and hold her and just like
Sure.
try.
Do you want to make
I'm not going to
a,
go
do you want to make
sprinting
a
away
grapple?
from Ari, but I better make an attempt. Grapple. Oh, is this a melee weapon? No, it's in combat, and it is melee weapon grapple. There it is, and it's not. Yes, here we go. Grapple 50 success.
Okay. As she turns to dart away, you grab a hold of the back of her clothes and pull her back. Ari bends down, picks up your sword, looks at it for a second. She's yelling and elbows you once, but then freezes up as she sees Ari walking over. He strolls over, stands again. He's very big fan of dramatic pauses, which leaves everyone in an awkward moment. And then, still holding the sword, turns towards Seylug and says, "Just drop it." She lets the awning fall, and he says, "Take her inside to my tent." Seylug hurries forward, grabs Svanhilda and drags her off, vanishing off, leaving the two of you in the rain.
I would come with if I can. I assume I'm invited. I just saved this man.
No, this is you save this man, but he's not going. He's staying here with you.
Okay, great.
So he doesn't move. You can try and attempt to follow, but at this stage, it's just Seylug and Svanhilda heading towards the tent. Did you want to follow?
Oh no! I'm sticking with near Ari.
Yeah. He stands for a second there, watching you, and then holds out pommel first your sword to retake. You hold true to your convictions.
I do. It's served me well. It's what brought me that sword is upholding the law and standing against secret murder, which is just not the done thing.
Help me put this back up. And he bends down and starts messing with the dropped or awning, which you can step in and start to do. It's not going to be long before the others arrive, and you do not hear from Svanhilda or Seylug again, unless you want to go searching for that. You're pretty sure that there will either be a legal case or a summary execution, which is grim, but such as she attempted secret murder, so there you go. Soon enough, Mundi, Thimur, you can gather together and arrive at the predetermined meeting point that you went to before, flash a torch, and seeing it, Ari gathers you up and heads back down. We are approaching our stream time, so I'm going to speed through one or two details, and basically, here's the situation. You got nigh on everything he asked for. You've convinced him to go for an agreement. You've managed to get Gauri to pull back from the hardcore punishment, and you've managed to convince Hyotur to...
Need to pay a very small summary fee to the family that, like, in the sense that someone from their family was taken from them. There needs to be some recompense. But we are treating it as though, like, it is a theft rather than a murder.
Exactly.
Which is wild, but hey.
Well, let me
that's
ask you
for
this.
Future us
Does that register at all to you, Mr. Convictions? Or is it sort of, are you either willingly or subconsciously letting it go over your head?
If it's what the AlThing decided, then it's probably fine.
It's great to have an authority to lean on. Perfect. And the only thing that you haven't achieved is the sword, which, to convince Ari to not want it and, kick a fuss about it, would be an orate check, which will take a plus 22, considering that Njal stepped in and helped out and protected him.
That's what I'm thinking. I got no communication skills, so I must convince by action.
Yeah, well, you're
that's
plus
what
20
I've
to
done
this.
today.
It'd be an orate. Mundi can make this because this is sort of the back and forth of debate. And Theomord, if you have any magic left in the tank...
Another one?
Like it.
Another
There you
set
go.
of runes. So what's your orate, Mundi? That'll be another, again, just 30 for the magic. You're already up to 70.
Yeah, 70 and
Now I'm tapped. So
yeah, I don't.
And I think you are tapped too, Mundi. You have.
I mean, unless I can invoke another passion or rely on the passion that I had before.
I think this is a different situation. So, and this part, I think, arguing to maintain the sword. I don't think this is particular. I think this might
The
just
best
be a
I would
straight.
have is like someone did you a good turn and like tried to help you. The honorable thing is to thank that is to take that as your like payment versus the sword. But my honor's only 60, and
Yeah.
that really does give me a risk of getting worse. So
I think honor I'd take if you want to do the 60 risk, but I think it has about as high a chance of going wrong as a.
So my orate is 30 with that, and then 20, so 70. So it's just
It's
a
succeeding
plus.
a 60% chance, and then what would be a if you succeeded a 90% chance, or succeeding a single 70% chance.
What we reckon, gang?
Don't worry
How
about it. I think go
impassioned
for
do
it.
you feel about honor? Do you feel that this is an honorable outcome, or do you feel that this is a wise outcome?
yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I see. Yeah, this is
This is practical.
practical
more
because honor would kind of really be no, he gets his because he did something bad, and that is true. Like, I think that's maybe where like the difference between Niall and Mundi lies is like Niall is no, this is the right thing to do in the moment. This is like the code that we follow, and Mundi is like we follow a code,
Yeah.
and
And
that
the code follows us sometimes.
and like yeah, and it's like the rules should never break, but sometimes must be bent so that the best outcome can be reached.
I love
Alright.
it. Perfect. Let's see the roll. And that is a special success to finish it on. Absolutely perfect.
Good stuff.
I saw that roll from a 9 to a 1, and I was like,
Fantastic.
I can, yeah, my butt clenched.
Ah,
I'm sure
Amazing.
he'd use it better anyway. He says, and I'd hate for it to fall on foreign soil when I attend this this raid set up by Hyotur. He agrees, and suddenly this ends bittersweetly, some might say, with you standing in front of Ari the Black, the murderer, the guy who brought all of the soldiers to the AlÞing, grasping his forearm, nodding, smiling, his never reaches his teeth, and then turning and going back your separate ways. Anyone have any last words or barbs or moments of wisdom they want to share before you separate?
lots of people die at sea.
There you go. Very true.
Savage.
Your
Yep,
parties separate. Ari's troops will withdraw. They are not needed because Galri will be withdrawing his claim. Before long, the AlThing starts to slowly wind down. There is one last grand ceremony where, without any more jury cases to attend to, you will all be able to properly celebrate. And having resolved all of your different situations, Bjorg comes and chats to you briefly. And let's be clear, you had this one case of secret murder with a berserker, you had this really, really ugly divorce, and then you had a warlord trying to make a mess, and you have managed to resolve all three of them without lasting difficulties. You have Vestine, who is, made whole and withdrew his support from Veifur. Sorry, other way around. Veifur didn't lose everything. Withdrew his support from Vestine, who is now lying critically injured. I think you actually managed to not get him killed, unless I'm mistaken. So, wow, even better. You've got Marnie set up with one of the couple.
Steingeister.
Yes, everyone happy there. And both Ari, Gauri, and Otskin, the murdered, at least his family, end up somewhat okay here. Bjorg seems really happy. He talks about all of the ways that this is going to be helpful. He seems pretty relaxed and boisterous. You're pretty sure he's been enjoying himself very thoroughly. Maybe only Timur, since you were so into watching things, you noticed that you've seen him around doing a lot of politicking of his own. He's probably pretty good at making it appear that he's very carefree. This will all end with a grand ceremony at the end where a sacrifice is made to the gods back where the opening ceremony was and the law was spoken. Can I get a final epilogue from each of you as well? What's the final state of your characters as we go forward? Do you want to start us off? Oh, sorry, Jack. No, Nyal, you're ready to go?
Yeah, we'll go on a raid. If there's a raid happening, he'll go on a raid. Yeah, he's got some more arms to claim. He's got to make sure this sword lives up to the name, and he sure hopes that whatever dodgy dealings that his mate, the blacksmith, Guatrua, did to get him this sword doesn't come back to bite him.
Well,
but that can't happen if he's off on a raid.
Exactly,
so
and you've already earned several naming categories to this. The story has begun to proliferate. Guatur does say, if a new weapon was to be made and promised to you, or a new piece of armor, what would it be?
I think I better have a matching shield.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Arm keeper. It helps me keep my arms. While arm claimer claims the other arms.
Arm claimer and arm keeper. I love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Who's next? Mundi? Timur?
Does Mundi,
I was like, huh?
you know Mundi?
No, I was actually going to say something about the sword.
Well, for Thrumir, it's I've asked a lot of my gods in this last 48 hours.
Yeah, you
really.
definitely did.
So I think in the interim between, I have committed to also going on this raid. So I think in the interim between AlThing and raid, I'll just piss off to a cave in the hills and fully just meditate and be one with nature and the majesty of the gods, and really just be a creepy guy slightly outside of town.
You go to do your hermiting. I will say that as you are finding finally a place away from everybody where you think at last you're unfollowed, everything from the AlThing has left, you swear you notice a familiar silhouette on one of the roads that you can see nearby that looks like it might be Sadis, the hidden person that you spoke to.
Deep bow.
From a distance, you can see the silhouette stop and wave a hand in response and then continue on their way. Keeping a healthy respect is probably a good thing. A healthy distance.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Timur. And Mundi?
I'm not going on a raid, so I'll leave us with a button on the actual, celebration itself. For anyone who remembers the final panel of every Asterix and Obelisk book in existence, big bunch of Vikings around a big open fire with a huge table, and Cacophonix, who was their scold, usually tied up in a tree somewhere. Mundi is probably sat in the low branches of a tree, just singing his heart out, having a grand old time with some mead, just really celebrating through song and story the trials and tribulations of the gods that maybe match a little more closely to the trials and tribulations of him and his friends than the story traditionally goes, and maybe that story just starts to morph and get sung in a way that sounds a little bit more familiar to those who lived through the moment.
Perfect.
Mundi is not Cacophonix, but he is, he's definitely gonna sing this feast to close.
I love it. I think it is the only one in which Cacophonix is not tied up is Asterix and the Normans, which is an apt one because next week we will be close-ish to Normandy, returning back with some Pendragon. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, everybody,
Jim.
for watching. This, again,
Thank you, gentlemen.
is
Thank you, chat.
Age of Vikings. You can pick it up. This is the AlThing scenario. And if you want to go and create and play your own Vikings, check it out. It's a lot of fun. In the meantime, we will be resuming our Pendragony adventures with Dave next week. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone.